Okay, so Megan, you are the lucky recipient of TELPAS ALT Training because you have our one and only TELPAS ALT student. So I'm going to go through this because you will be the person that has to do her TELPAS testing because you are her everyday teacher that sees her the most percentage of the time. TELPAS ALT is basically TELPAS for students with significant cognitive disabilities. It is the Star Alt version of TELPAS. So your student with both EB status and Star Alt 2 status will be the only one that's taking TELPAS Alt. So we're going to look at grades 3 through 12 because our baby's in 4th grade. So she can be assessed in TELPAS Alt because her ARD committee determined that was that she was eligible. So the PLD domains are a little bit different in Star Alt than they are in TELPAS Alt than they are in regular TELPAS. Instead of beginning, intermediate, advanced high, it's awareness, imitation, early independence, developing independence, and basic fluency. And I will get you lots of lists of PLDs. So this kind of breaks down what each one of those means. So awareness is that she would be aware of English sounds or print. Imitation would mean that she's matching, imitating, or approximating some English. Early independence means that she understands short, simple messages and produces messages of one or two high-need, high-frequency words. Developing independence means that she understands longer messages and multiple sentences in English and produces simple, descriptive, original messages by combining 2 or more words. And then basic fluency is just understanding and producing more detailed, complex, and elaborate messages with multiple sentences in English. So the reason that the classroom teacher is the one who will give this test is because you know where she's at. So you'll be able to, through observation, determine where she's going to fall. So you'll be looking for observable behaviors. The questions are called observable behaviors. Each observable behavior describes characteristics that students learning English demonstrate as they gain proficiency. So based on your knowledge of the student, over a period of time, you'll make holistic judgments across all 4 domains: reading, writing, speaking, and listening, using ELPS-aligned observable behaviors. So there's a sample below for decoding. And this is something that you can observe over multiple days. It doesn't have to be like we're going to do one decoding activity, so that one decoding activity is going to determine our placement. You might do multiple decoding activities and then see where she best falls. So a notes version can be found on the Alternative Resources webpage, and I can get you a copy of it. It's so that you can become familiar with observable behaviors and practice using them during the school year. So, for example, with this decoding, you can see that this student definitely all the time had new familiar word picture combinations. She was successful with different words at different dates. One time she could do it at a C level, never got to D or E. So they circled B because that's where she was most of the time. So these examples were made from Texas teachers. They are examples. By no means are they supposed to be like, this is the one and done. This is the only thing you can test over. So like following directions, you might not use the example that's on the page as much as you would use one that follows the rubric. So like if you see at the top, it says following directions, and then it says may or may not attend to one-word directions with picture support. And then below it will describe a detailed situation. So as long as your situation attends to one-word directions with picture support, it doesn't have to be the does not stand or whatever, or does not walk. If you have questions on what can and can't be used there, just let me know. So the purpose of each example is to illustrate how students could demonstrate the skill at each proficiency level. There are many others examples that could be used though, so please don't feel like you're tied to the ones that are listed. You're actually encouraged to use your own activities because you know your students and your students know your procedures and routines. So there is an electronic version of the observable behaviors. Again, I can get you links to all of that stuff. Here's your test training and security administration. This is all the training you need. So once you've got this, you're good to go. I will get you a test administrator manual so that you can begin to review it so that you know what you're looking for. So you only have one student, so this is pretty easy. You will start with her and choose one domain: reading, speaking, listening, or writing. You'll review all 10 observable behaviors for that domain along with the 5 descriptors of the student's performance. It's not necessary to consider the observable behaviors in the order that they appear. So you're going to do 10 at a time. You might see that number 3 is going to be the hardest, so you might get done with that one first. Or you might save it for last. So consider one observable behavior at a time. Think about the description that most closely matches the student's performance most consistently. So it's not necessarily when you do it, it's not necessarily what they do in that moment as much as it's what you have observed most consistently. So think about how well the student has demonstrated the ability to understand or use English in the context of skills the student is learning, and think about how well the student was able to understand or use English when practicing these skills in a classroom setting. So mark the bubble A, B, C, D, or E under the description that closely matches the student's most consistent use of English. Mark only one bubble. After finishing all 10 behaviors for the first domain, continue with the remaining 3 domains. You could do this over the course of 4 days. You could choose to do it 2 a day, whatever works best for you and your student. That's what works best for us. So there's some other training that's available if you would like to go through it. There's a series of PowerPoints available on the TELPAS Alternate Resources webpage. You can view those and kind of get a better understanding of each domain. The PowerPoints aren't required, but they are recommended since you'll be rating a student and it will help you become more familiar. So here's some other resources that are available to you for TELPAS Alternate. And again, if you have any questions, please let me know. I might not know the answer immediately, but I can definitely find somebody that does. So I will be getting other resources and extra links out to you. In the meantime, again, if you have any questions, let me know. Thanks.